Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 2v2 Showdown!
Look at those miners, man is as well. Legend out tanking man here. Does the rockets, your flag is all the way slapping that one factory out of the way, but on the back of that, Legend getting his. That's good tech. Rocco try to push it, but pulls back up. Okay. We're here. We're playing Yuri's, and it's the final series of the night. Yes. Okay. Here we are. Final series of the night. We have Team DesoScience, which is gonna be Latof down on bottom right and LukeZ and Pink down on top left. So corners games. And top right is gonna be Zedd and his teammate Steve down on bottom left. So we're playing Yuri's Revenge because we're what do you call it? Team DeezNuts. Horrible name, I know. Steve and Zedd are the lower rated team in this case, and because of that, like they're A class in my books. Or on my list, and Team Latof and Luke are S class in my list. And because we want to have an evenest matchup as possible, we give the option for Steve and Zedd to pick Yuri's Revenge or RA2. And they went for Yuri's Revenge. That means that Latof and Luke will have to comply with Yuri's Revenge, and they agreed. So 2v2 Yuri's boring fuck, I agree. But I think in this case we have such high caliber players, we're not gonna see some mediocre stuff. It's gonna be some pretty high level stuff here. We're seeing a failed quite rush out of Steve first and foremost. Is going 0 here with a going Rhino first, going 0 here. In comes Luke with an engineer around the back. Steve has to be careful. Double engineer here for Steve. For Luke, sorry, the entire engineer goes into the power plant. Immediately Steve undeploying. So Zedd coming from top right and Yuri as well. So power plant does get captured by Steve. Zedd putting some pressure onto Latof's miners. Latof going Yuri, which is a weird thing to say. I know Latof did play Yuri's before RA2. I mean, she's familiar with the Yuri faction, but we'll see how this goes. Got lashes coming out of Zedd. He's on 3 miners. We got gas coming out as well. Luke does have the AFC. Might be a seal. Another engineer incoming, actually. Yeah, we might think that Yuri's in 2v2 is boring, but in the hands of a really good player, especially these 4 players, Yuri's are gonna be super interesting. Engineer coming in. Where is it headed to? Oh, gets squished right before the barracks. Zedd coming in with a couple of lashes. Lashes against plastics. Plastics still fucking lose. And Zedd out tanking Luke there, who's went for full NG. Latof on the other hand, putting some pressure onto Steve down towards bottom left. Middle middle miner does get taken out. And Luke coming in with another engineer around the back. Zedd coming in with a couple of gats. Pulling back just go for that engineer. IFV. But Steve was pretty far behind there. He got his power taken out, so he's gonna have to go around the other side. No, I think Grizzlies are a lot worse than Lashes actually. I don't know. It's a nice save there. Very nice save for that NGIV. God, that's coming from Steve as well. Good magging from magging. Good magging from Latof. Nice. Goes through the NGIV for Luke. And Luke still, he goes front, so he has the ability to make cannons if he needs to. I think that's what he's trying to do so far, but in the same process, he kind of just messed himself over with very little to no tanks on the field. So Steve and Luke are now broke. Same, actually everyone is broke at this stage of the game. We've got a Y-V-Y on the right side here. Zedd, obviously the better Yuri player. But we'll see how his macro holds up against Latof. Doesn't look good. Does not look good. And Zedd loses that Y-V-Y matchup on the right hand side. Still pushing on the top left. Latof with a clutch side tower to save him. And miners are being targeted from Zedd. Still pushing out towards the bottom as well. Latof gonna send a couple of mags to try and save that. Luke coming in with another double NGIV down onto Steve. Steve's not gonna see this coming for sure. Miners are getting hit here for Zedd. Latof. Is Latof the better Yuri player than Zedd here? We'll see. And Steve getting his MCV. Almost gets in. Squishes the engineer. And pulls back with Rhinos to save him. That's some very nice awareness there. I think Zedd might have seen that coming. Latof pulling back just slightly. I don't think he needs to. He can keep up the pressure onto the miners. And don't allow Zedd to come back. But I think he's just lacking on a couple of units here to have him properly defend. That side tower was everything here for Steve. That absolutely helped him around the back. Interesting to see that Zedd actually losing a Y-V-Y engagement against Latof. Don't see that often happening pretty much, especially with someone like Zedd. So another NGIV coming in here. And Steve's MCV finally gets captured and the cannon finally comes out of it. Steve calls quits. And Zedd's gonna be like, what the fuck? And Zedd's gonna be like, what the fuck? And he quits out. So pretty intense first game as a Yuri on Yuri's Revenge. I'd like to see something different for a change and see a higher level Yuri 2v2 instead of the mediocre ones that we're used to seeing in FFGs. So first point to Latof and Luke. Fucking pot friend. And Zedd unready. And now Zedd ready again. Tough reaction. I am losing it, boys. But I am not gonna lose it when it comes to this game. Yeah, high level 2v2 stuff, albeit engineers. Excuse me, engineers and mags everywhere. But it's not your typical, you know, constant 1v1 stuff. And in terms of 2v2s, it's pretty impressive to see these guys like counter all the double engineers. We saw Steve undeploy his MCV twice while he was having an engagement, a tank engagement on the other side of the map. So that goes to show that it might be Yuri's 2v2s, but in the hands of good players, it can be very, very entertaining. And I think this so far, the first game that was really not bad. Some pretty entertaining stuff. So Luke down on top left, Latof, where is he? Teal down on bottom left, and then Zedd right across of him. And Steve is going to be across of Luke, allied against Soviet here, France. So left is right, so you might see a couple minus, a little bit more minus unless someone chooses to go aggressive. Steve is gonna learn from his mistakes and wall up his MCV, guys. You can build down on Divide and Conquer. Not the worst thing in the world. So that just helps him in terms of just a micro, so he doesn't need to pull his eyes away from the battlefield too often to check for engineers. And a bunker by the war factory, yep. And I believe 3 conscripts should be enough for a bunker, but some do prefer to fill it all the way up to 5. So early get here by Zedd for the simple scout. Oh no, sorry, that's by Latof. I want to see Zedd because on that first Y-V-Y engagement on the right side with Mags and Gets, Latof won that one fair and square. Like clear as day, Latof won that engagement. It was the engineers from Luke that actually forced Steve to quit out, and that's not going to take a 2v1. He wants to go on ahead and try to get as many wins as possible without feeling so low from having to suffer through a 2v1. So Steve with an NG flag on the way. The only MTV that's not walled up is Luke's. And Luke is going France again. So Gats are coming in to try and intercept that flag. Interesting that it went all the way around. What's the target here for Steve? MCV is the target, and ooh, just about. I move it, but Steve did get the barracks. Sentry guns coming out immediately from Steve. Needs to deploy, he needs some sentry guns, he's alting the flag as well. And finally getting enough in. The barracks from Zedd does stick out and the war factory does go down for Luke. Very, very nasty with that ult. And now Steve, sorry, Zedd. No, not Zedd. Steve going forward with a Deso. Got GGI IVs in those. And obviously low power because he doesn't have any power. Forces cell on that AFC. Steve still coming forward. If we're good about Rhinos, War Factory does get rebuilt. GGI, Guardian GIs, IVs are the only way that he can defend here. Latof does have a couple of mags if he needs them. But I think what Steve wants to do here is not get caught between these two. Because once the mags can grab a hold of those Rhinos, it's pretty much game over. For those Rhinos, not game over entirely. So Steve going immediately for quick tech. Same with Zedd, Jury players, of course, you want to go for quick tech. Pretty much nothing else you can do there. Steve coming in forward here. He is out with a vengeance, snipes a miner from Luke. And we're having some viruses as well. I think this is snipe Desos? Oh, it's just sniped the slave miners there from Latof. Nice. Got a kill out from Steve. Steve coming all the way to his top left, trying to get the MCV out of the way. Cell, he gets an engineer beforehand. With that cell at the same time, they're gonna push forward all the way through. Guardian GGI is using their range very, very well. Bubble, thank you very much for the resub. It's 16 months, my guy. Yeah, Luke is not gonna be so far behind. He did get the AFC up, so he can be rocketed if he needs to. But the Kirov is not incoming. And the YY is still going down the bottom. So Harris will be useful in sniping any mags if the bottom player needs it. But the Kirov is a more important thing that he needs to worry about. He must not keep an eye off of that Kirov. Because you might see it one time, you'll be like, oh, okay, I'll deal with that later because it's slow. And then all of a sudden it's in your base and suddenly it's elite. But the IC is not ready for Luke, for Steve, sorry, in about 20 seconds. Luke ideally wants to push before he can get a Kirov ready. Just so that the IC is nowhere near his base. He's still opting for it. Steve, IC is ready. IC does get popped. Luke's gonna run away if he can here. Target will be the cannon, I think. I'll go for the IVs. Just so that the Kirov will have some clear air space to go along. No pesky missiles come along the way. Cannon does get targeted. Cannon will go down. And the Kirov is the next target here for those IVs. Latof coming in with some disc to help. Zedd seems still standing on the bottom. Does some gets push away the disc as well. Nice teamwork there from Latof, understanding that his teammate needed help. And now Luke can do a comeback. Gets rid of that wall factory. IV's coming, so getting chased around the back. Next target is the lab. 4 shield clutch from Steve. And Zedd pulling back with his army there. Latof does not have much of an army. Most of his stuff is up here. He's a big enjoyer of those discs. Around the back in comes Steve. Going down for that wall factory. Elite flag coming out as well. That's gonna follow Zedd all the way around to the other side to help his teammate. Is Latof gonna push through? He does not. Elite guy coming out. Latof now fully committing a lot of units sending over along the top while using the mag on the bottom to probably snipe a couple of buildings if he can. Zedd now joining the fight along the top left. But he's slowly getting pushed back here. Mags still not being pushed forward by Latof. Obviously hard to juggle two things at once. The Dominator does get pumped out though by Latof. Takes out that power plant. Or bioreactor? Bioreactor. There we go, more buildings getting sniped. Another IC coming out here for Steve. Onto the rhinos. Snipes! Down they go. I thought trying to abuse those mags as well, but he gets abused because the mags are on higher ground. So the range is a lot wider than you think it was. Steve now has a constant flow of rhinos, I think, with his eco 10k in the bank. So he's gonna be losing pretty soon here. Latof, can he hold up against Zedd? Got tons of discs there for Zedd, so his disc will automatically target the other disc because the air units have a higher threat value than the land unit. So any unit that can attack both in air will almost always attack the air units first before attacking the land units, unless you individually micro them. And Zedd still going all the way through. Luke holding on just to see if his teammate can do something here. But this is looking to be pretty unlikely. Last minute effort with those NGIVs. Mag gets dropped on the War Factory. No, it does die straight away. Looks to be GG here. Yep, there you go. Luke goes down. Sorry, Latof goes GG actually. And down they go. That's another point on the board. Assigned to Steve and Zedd. Alright, third game of this last series. It's gonna be purple and yellow. So top versus bottom. It is gonna be top versus bottom. It's gonna be, who is it? Zedd? Is that against Latof, and Latof going Iraq. So Zedd against Latof. And then it's gonna be Steve against Luke. Luke has gone no, it's Turbo. Luke has gone France. And seeing those off this bottom middle, definitely still a choice, but I think most of them, especially Luke, would try to get control of the space. Or he might just move after MCV, after War Factory. Not too sure, but let's see how this goes. I know, right, Sander? I didn't have a clue who he was either. I thought he came back and was like, oh shit, this guy can play. Yeah. All right. So I'm looking at this, thinking what sort of builds I can go for. I think it's just gonna be a really simple anti-Yuri build from Latof. And on the right side, this is gonna be a straight up NG fest. Yep. So here comes the first engineers. We've got double drones from both players. Let's purposely ignore the poo. That was close from Luke. Very, very close from Luke. Double engine once again. I think what the double engines are doing here is he's not really looking to really capture and just like, he's not really looking to capture anything. He's more of using them to distract or buy time or do something else, because engineers are somewhat easy to defend against. They're just annoying to deal with. Miners booked. Put it a re because miners are bugged. Get out. Yep. Alpha did a re. Okay, play on then. Alright, so they're gonna play on. Steve's mind is just sort of bugged a little bit there. Yeah, look at this build from Zedd. Very, very forward build. Latof's gonna have to play on the defensive side, which he is known to do, and he's pretty good at it. Yeah, those are useful. That's gonna stop the miners from going up here, slave miners from going up here. But Zedd's definitely gonna walk with the psychic towers. Yep, there it is. And Latof's gonna have to get an IC up to counter those with some IC drones. Luke, on the other hand, very nice build here with the cannons. If he has a straight up NG Fest, now the engines are going on to the other side. Good Kirov, like Kirov's a good choice to defend. Oh, Luke, what? Luke just sent both NGIVs into the psychic tower. That's a big jax. But at the same time though, Latof doing some neat work with that Kirov. Wanted to take out the power first, but I think Steve is well prepared. So Zedd is well prepared to deal with that power. Got VT rockets coming in for Steve. VT rockets are the only units that outrange the cannon, you know, except for dreadnoughts. Oh, but the side tower works so well for Latof. For Zedd, sorry. Latof losing 3 units just by the click of his fingers. And this is where the double cannon coverage needs to come into play. Seeing the Chinese players play on Heck, double cannon coverage is the #1 thing that they absolutely want to go for. That means that having a second cannon to cover your first cannon in case the rhinos go straight underneath it. So got Latof still building forward here. I think using sentry guns to kill the cannons or the side towers. It's pretty smart. And he does get it. One of it at least. Steve's gonna counter that cannon walk on the right side of Akira very nicely. A little bit late to react, but does get there either way. Kirov goes down, IC goes up on the bottom left side. IC drones coming in for Latof. Only War Factory goes down, Elite Mag is there. But I don't think Latof has a... Ooh, MCV! Oh, in the nick of time, clutched it. But it is circular anyway. No anti-air available for Latof. I forgot what I wanted to say there. Yeah, nice push. This is nice from Luke. As the allied player, Luke probably just needs to hold and wait for his teammate to either finish the game or just finish his opponent so she can come in and sweep together. But the elite disc is now coming out for Zedd. Not much that team DesoScience can do in this case. Yeah, I think Latof is completely out of this game now. Only has 4 rhinos. Yeah, I'm surprised he didn't shield. IC is gonna be ready pretty soon here for Latof. Zedd needs to push forward and get rid of this IC before the IC can deal with something else. So MTV getting targeted next. Steve suddenly getting doubled. Zedd needs to do something. Zedd needs to do something. Gives away the force shield, that's nice. But it's gonna come straight right afterwards and get rid of that MCV. IC a little bit wasted, to be honest. Unless he keeps targeting those rhinos. And it's actually pushing, absolutely pushing on the left side. It's gonna pull back and try and reinforce instead. Couple of MMs. Awesome mines with some mags. Horrible, horrible combination. The rockets from Luke going down as well. And a bit of a split on the other side. Miners are being pulled to deal with this. So everything is still moving along as intended. This cannon walk has been so freaking deadly. That's gonna be Steve's 1 or 2 War Fractures going down, and Luke is hitting the floor as well. And the splash damage is what's damaging it. And because the other team is kind of broke, actually no, Steve is not broke, he's just not repairing, I'm not sure why. We're coming in with a small army of IVs over to the other side. Easy overload. 1, 2. Nice mid control. This Deso walk is still ongoing. This is proving to be quite a longer game as per usual, or what we're expected to. Steve moving down to his middle, that's a good sign. You get more eco along the way. Latof completely out of the game, no rhinos at all. He has left as a minus. They can try to do something with it. Luke, not much as well. No units on the field. His units are all gone, I believe. Down goes the IC. Next to blow with the nuclear power plant. This entire choke point here has been such under fire for such a long time. So Steve finally making the rounds here. Elite Rhino coming up, 2 heroes coming in now. And then just constantly wreaking havoc everywhere. I feel like these could be moved a lot quicker than they usually move. There we go. Lots of calling GG's. Anthony calling GG's in Dutch. Should be Zedd as he coined these. Did I say Anthony? Who the fuck is Anthony? Alright, that's gonna be 2-1 now to team Monster and Steve. Very nice, very nice.
Player defeated.
Alright, let's go. So team Steve and Zedd getting back the lead. The drawing. So Steve and Zedd, let's look right there. We've got Latof on top left, Luke on top right. So top is bottom here. You got Steve bottom left and then Zedd still sticking the Yuri down on bottom right. This time, no faction changes at all actually. No, so no this time. Same time. This time, same time, every time. So Luke walling in his MCV. Looks like he's gonna abuse the cannons a little bit more this time. Steve doing the same because he doesn't want to get NG'd. And Latof is the only one who does not want his MCV. Steve does have that ability with the NG flags, but so far they've been only successful once in taking that NG. The barracks on go what map it is, but it was on the barracks. God damn it, that. Any difference in builds here? See Luke going for an engineer again. I think that's probably for the miners. He has a double NG for the miners in case one of the miners gets droned. It can be easily dealt with by the NGIVs. So gonna bunker by the wall factory as well. And it comes double NGIVs right at the start. I want to see a little bit more participation from Luke. He's been currently pretty quiet so far in terms of game differences and game breaking decisions. In comes that double NGIV is going to see that MTV has been walled up. Targets will definitely change this time. trying to kill it. Ooh, almost got energy down. One of them does go down. I don't understand why Luke actually tried that. Killing the wall without being so close does have his negative points, and on the back of that he is getting his base absolutely destroyed. Latof sending a couple units over to help. Second guesses about it. Retreats. Needs a bit more reinforcement before he can push in. But Steve is right there with Zedd. And obviously because Luke got taken out so early, he doesn't have that much with him in terms of defense. And good Deso zoning there. Split them apart just a little bit more. That was a very bold move, yeah. Ooh, tell you what though, Luke did get an engineering. Engineering down bottom right takes care of that MTV. Zedd! Oh boy! And that's job done. That is job done from Luke. Getting rid of Zedd's MTV, and now Zedd can only make, can still make mags, but no masterminds this time. See if they can control around Luke's base. Reinforcements coming in as well. Latof retreats as well. And good defense from that pole. Now it's down to the reinforcements of Steve and Zedd. And they make this work somehow. A little bit, I wouldn't say unexpected, but unlucky in this case. Still double NGs, still normal everything. Ooh, big engagement on the right. Latof doesn't really want to take that. The mags there are so deadly. Cannon's a good idea, but there are miners there as well. Miners can absorb the fire pretty well. Good tank control of the Latof in that SVS. Zedd, in no way Zedd is beating Latof in that SVS. Latof is way too good of a tank control, but in terms of mag control, it looks like Zedd is the one with the name on the board. Going around the other cliff, sniping miners left, right, and center. Luke, what can he do much? Not pretty much. Let's snap that power, try to disable that cannon. We'll find the middle still ongoing. SVS fire on the left. Deso got sniped. Deso is actually doing a really good job pushing them away. And Latof is surviving as well. Couple times going the other way. Gonna try and intercept, but Latof goes straight into Zedd's base, trying to take him out before the units can come back. Get the war factory. They can probably get out there and cut your losses. Nice IC! Good IC to counteract that force pushing in to defend. Then to go to the airport and get another fast for the good out of the country. So Zedd again pushing forward, using that river very nicely. Latof wants to get rid of these two buildings here from Zedd so he can live a happy life. But Zedd's not allowing that to happen. And the splitters on the other side onto Steve. Very, very nice. It's on a war factory there. Latof. Get another split coming through, but this time Zedd focuses his attention onto Latof in the middle. Latof should split 2 or 3 rounds just to get these 2 buildings out. Yeah, he does have an elite around the back though, takes out that MCV as well. I didn't see this, where the hell did this came from, Latof? Latof absolutely carrying the entire team so far. And there it goes. Down they go, and now score is 2-2. Even prolonging the series even further. What's up, Bob? That was nice timing, bro. Nice timing. So we've got the same factions this time around on Jungle Vietnam LE. But this time, Zedd saying some fighting words. Stuff like, "You will die first" onto LukeZ. So we'll see whether the play in pink, pretty in pink Zedd, will make a difference. His teammate is going to be Steve along his right hand side. So top versus bottom. And Zedd is going to go up against Latof. Oh, never mind, just swapping. So it looks like Luke is gonna go up against Zedd this time. I wonder if they don't have spawn previews, right? So they don't know who they're up against. So when they're asking for a swap, it's purely based on positional locations on the map, right? Went up only 3 times so far. I think I would prefer streaming standing up because I can be a lot more animated that way. Like sitting down, I basically can't move left and right. At least if I stand up, I can burn a bit more calories because I spend a lot of time at my desk. Unless I want to stretch my legs as well. You say like twice. True. Alright, so engineer coming out for Luke here. And already out. Yeah, I wonder if because they can't see who they're up against unless it's scouted first. So whenever they swap, it's most likely, I mean on RA2, I mean. But it's on geographical locations. But in terms of Jewish events, they can definitely know who they're up against and if they need to swap or not because of the spawn previews. So Luke's engineer goes straight to Steve. Does he get there in time? Oh no! Oh my god, the miner coming out blocks the engineer from going into the war factory. Unlucky from Luke. Latof on the other hand, just standard early game stuff. We got 3 gats coming in for Zedd. He made a 4. The 4th one goes into that bunker. That was super close. Then comes the 3 gats. What are the target? What is the target? What are the targets? Oh, bear in mind these are huge revenge GIs as well, so can definitely be abused if they need to. My god, I am very sleepy, like super sleepy. I think my eyes have shut like 5 or 6 times throughout this entire series. Because I'm so freaking sleepy. So lab out for Zedd. We're seeing a lab out from one else, obviously because Zedd needs the masterminds. Couple mags coming in too. Here we go. Harry going down, cannon comes up. That's a direct counter to whatever's already there. I want to see a little bit more of that cannon covering, but I'm not gonna do it. It's fine, I guess. But I think I've seen 1 game of a Chinese player playing on Head, and that almost showed me everything. Like, bro, the way he played, the way he built everything, it's perfectly makes sense. So because they have swapped it, there's gonna be an SVS on the right hand side here, and an AVS on the other. Looks like Zedd's gonna meet his opponent on the other side of the map or the corner. Miners are definitely the target here. That's why Latof pulled back that 1 singular miner. Luke's gonna have to come in and help his teammate, but he got engineered by Steve. Steve engine Luke there, and then Latof just playing a little bit where he doesn't want to split. He can't split apart. So the engineer actually distracted Luke. Luke needs to absolutely come and help his teammate right now. He is getting a double to all hell. He's probably pushing an attack Zedd. So he's too busy focusing on GGIs.
Disc in flight.
Oh boy. Good use for the Desos though. That's one way to stop it and help it. So see if we can start off. I think they're pretty evenly matched in terms of Rhino numbers. Skill level wise, we're yet to see if they are any different. Luke is slowly base walking towards Zedd's base there with some cannons. So cannons already in range of those miners. He's gonna have to pull back. Got double supers here from Zedd. And see if now making a dash towards the middle. Where is he gonna go? I hope this is pinged. There you go. Latof chooses it to go around. Can he get some damage out beforehand? Both drones go down. Bunker on the back. Forces the cell. Mastermind's about to come out of that war factory. Latof has to be really careful here. And now Zedd's gonna push in his army to help. That gives the opportunity for Luke to push in and try and get the grinder out. Zedd committing all of his entire army to the right hand side. This is a big, I think, opportunity here for Luke. Latof just needs to hold as long as he can. And the elite Ivy coming out now for Luke. Immediately gets undeployed and is gonna start harassing the entirety of Luke's base. Without that psychic tower, it's pretty much impossible to deal with this NGIV. So we've got 4 war factories now from Latof. 4 war factories from Latof. I think Luke is looking to build up that cliff in this cannon walk. Not sure why Zedd committed all of his entire army down to a stop right. I think that's a huge mistake for him. Look at the NCIV around the back as well. Didn't allow Luke to go all the way forward, man. Just they caught everything on that second level. The double super, the Dominator, the War Factory, couple miners as well. Absolutely shambolic. It looks like Latof did have an engagement against Luke as well and did get an elite for himself. Oh, we've got a disc coming in from Zedd all around the other side of the map. As they're gonna snipe a couple miners along the way. Oh, look at this annihilation by that cannon. Barrett is down for Z2. Zesso are here, down in Luke's base. But now Luke and Latof can combine. Sorry, Luke can probably help Steve a little bit. Oh, MCV goes down. So Latof now without an MCV. But they did swap sides. Nice use of that Dessa for that seal. Get rid of the roots around the corner. Steve's elite still alive, droned. Yeah, well, Latof's elite definitely still alive and well. It's very good for Latof. And look at the amount of units that they have on the field. They're totally different. Steve's gonna send a bunch of drones down towards the bottom left. Meanwhile, that elite again are wreaking havoc throughout the entirety of this country. Running away from that drone. The drone goes in anyway. X.
Seal ready.
Now we've got seals coming out for.
Ready.
Ooh. Seals are gonna walk in, man. They're gonna walk in. And the IC from the mastermind, so they don't overload. The seal did get mind control. I thought seals couldn't get mind controlled. Oh no, the IC masterminds are here. IC needs to die immediately. Nice. Now in comes Latof with the finishing kill, hopefully. Finishing touch. Bottom team has been dominating so far this game. Not by much though. Definitely not by much. Not by too much, I say. There's a lot of Rocketeers from Luke. Definitely a more than a handful of Rocketeers. Steve still sending Latof on a wild goose chase. Couple units back in Zedd's base, but the game's completely not over yet. Still pretty much well and alive. The only difference here is that Latof does not have his MCV after it got taken out. Luke doesn't have an MCV either. Oh, nice bait by the IC for Steve. And he's gonna ult the War Factory so the cannon will hit it. Engineer's gonna come through. It's not gonna come through in time. Luke didn't even manually target the cannon to shoot the ground so it wouldn't hit that lorry or the vehicle. Get off incoming for Steve. Rocketeer is still doing damage. Seals
Disc in flight.
Is Jarvis? How this game still going? I have no idea, dude. It is 11 minutes long. Who's winning? I would say bottom is winning. Because Zedd is being pushed back, but the thing is, top can still rebuild and they still have lots of time to play with. Genetic material ready. Luke's gonna make his way towards the right hand side. Latof gets rid of a couple buildings. Rocketeer takes out the IP. The nuke gets shot. Luke is gonna go onto that side. 4 shield comes out on that IC. So that does help him a little bit there, Zedd. Luke almost takes out that IC from Steve. That would have been so huge. But the War Factory does go down though. And Steve not making a difference. War Factory. Down goes a flag assault because of that radiation. And now Zedd can pushing it out on the left side. Takes away the power so the cannons are useless, but there are so many units there. Should be easy to overwhelm it. I see only now getting repaired. Look at the bottom part just cleared out here by Latof. Oh, engineer! Engineer Luke captures the power of Steve. That means that Steve is now low power and needs to rebuild a couple power plants to get that IC up and working. Sorry, Zedd taking a sneaky route down the left side. Steve sells that already. Sorry, Luke sells that power. Meanwhile, Latof sniping miners there on the back of Zedd's base. Elite and Vet Rocky is still running around. Why is he right here? Luke needs to be careful. He's by a cliffside, so he doesn't necessarily want to approach a magnetron. Steve is still low power, and he's broke. This fucking again, it's a little bit too late to do that. There is virtually no more aura left on the map. It's come down to this far. And the IC finally goes down. Oh, the IC gets popped before it goes down. Luke definitely the next target here, but can he get it before? See if he can get it down. 4 shield comes out. But Latof is right there. They can combine and get rid of the units altogether. Zedd sending a couple of units over to help, but I think they're gonna turn around and take off. The super weapons now. Elite Grizz coming out as well. Down goes that nuke. Elite Rhino coming out. Elite Grizz goes down. I'd say it's still anybody's game to win here at this moment. Because the minute one person makes a mistake, I think they're capitalized on it almost immediately. Got a grinder on the other side of the map here by the Yuri player, by Zedd. But here comes Luke. Oh, nice on deploy. Ivy's targeting that war factory, slow him down a little bit. If he's still alive, the battle lab is next, and then the power or the super weapons. Exactly, Luke is on so much money, so he can still continue to produce time and time and time again. And it looks like Steve has admitted defeat. So all down to Zedd. All down to Zedd here. His Dominator or Mutator is almost going down. It does go down, kill 2 and Elite. And now Latof can probably join the fight as well. Both players have elites in their army. All 3 players have elites in their army. Zedd just quit. There should be absolutely no way that Zedd can come out of this alive. But then again, he's Yuri, so anything can happen. And Zedd doesn't have that much money left, so that's the one thing that tells me that, yeah, maybe it's a game win here for Team DesoScience. This is CGIs using the long range to their advantage. Make minor, says LukeZ. I wonder if that's for Zedd or whether that's for. I think that's probably for Zedd. Probably meant for Zedd. There you go. War factory goes down. You can probably dive in for the MCV as well. The quicker they do that, better it's gonna be. But it's getting hit on both ends. It's getting hit up the bum and up front. It is such a BM move using DGIs to kill buildings. Such a BM move. Alright, that's gonna be match point now. The team DesoScience with really 2. Oh, what's up, Apple? That was a good fight. That was a good fight. Alright, we're gonna run a quick ad and then we'll be right back. So it's not a sign up. So people who play in the showdown for the first and second showdown session of the month, the best performing teams will be invited into the tournament at the end of the month. So the previous showdown, the one 2 weeks ago, and this today's showdown, the best performing teams from both sessions will be invited to the tournament at the end of the month. So it's not necessarily a sign up. Bro, where you at, bro? Yep, exactly. Alright. Alright, possibly the final game. We're on match point here for Team DesoScience. And we are on Poltergeist. Left versus right. It's going to be Team DesoScience on the left. Right side is a Team DeezNuts. Got him. Praying that it's the final game. No comment, no comment, no comment, no comment, no comment, no comment. It's 7:30 in the morning, man. No comment. Shut up, too. Yeah, but at this match point now, if they go to 3-3, it'd be pretty nuts. It's probably the best Yush Revenge 2v2 game I've seen so far in my entire casting career. It's the fact that, you know, Latof and Luke are great players, right? And they're able to play both R2 and Yush Revenge. So is Zedd and Steve. But their preferability or their preference is such a different on the different games. So the lower level team having their pick and the high level team not being not getting their pick, it gives a very nice dynamic. So for the guys, obviously it's gonna be a pretty quick game, short distance, not too long. Both Yuris are at the bottom, both Soviets are at the top. So Steve against Latof and Luke against Zedd. So this is gonna be an interesting 1v1, Luke against Zedd. People would think that actually Luke is a better Yuri than Zedd, or a better player in general than Zedd, but Zedd can pull it out of the bag sometimes, and people might just not realize it. Previously, no gains, I just haven't posted it yet. Previously, it was Latof the one going Yuri, but this time I think it might be the first time we're seeing a Luke Yuri. I think this is the first time we're seeing a Luke Yuri. So drone coming in there for Steve, easy repair. Got a quick tech coming out of Steve and Latof. Got lab out already for Zedd. Luke has a lab out as well. Bags and gets ready to go. We got Desos. Needs to sell this ref. There you go. Yes, they did. There's the IC. Sorry, the Tater. For both. And the Yuri Prime from Luke. Yeah, Yuri Prime is something that we didn't see so far. And first time Luke being Yuri, I think this is where we'll see that Yuri Prime in action. Just zooming across the fucking water. No Yuri Primes for Zedd though. He does have a couple of viruses to hopefully counter the Yuri Prime.
Disc in flight. Disc in flight. Disc in flight.
Luke running around with that Yuri Prime.
Disc in flight.
Digs and flight. I see up 1, I see up 2.
Disc in flight.
Digs and flight.
Disc in flight.
Digs and flight. This is going to be a pretty slow matchup. Oh, Luke getting caught out. Luke absolutely getting caught out there. It looks like Steve got caught out. I saw the lab goes down by those. What it is, and the power is not being held up. That means that's gonna delay Steve's IC. Zedd sending everything around the back. Let's get this down. Luke has so little units on the field. It's pretty worrying at the moment. IC goes on for Steve onto Latof. So the Yuri Prime does go down either way. Does Latof pop his IC now? I think Latof absolutely does pop his IC. Or not. Doesn't pop his IC at all. And Steve is gonna go all the way through. Oh my god, Steve. Latof did not pop his IC, still hasn't popped. He's gonna use it on those IC, on the drones. To get, probably the masterminds will be the target. But what a fumble there from Latof. Does not pop the IC at all. Forced to use it on the drones. Not sure whether that was intentional. And now Luke has very little units on the field. Zedd has a ton of this. MCB is gonna target in as well. Latof. MCB goes down. What a shambles here. Latof with no IC, and Luke, he doesn't have that many units on the field. I'm not sure where his units are. He is broke though. Maybe that's the reason why. Poltergeist is not a great map for eco. It looks like the map pick does pick off. We are gonna go to all 4 or 7 games, sorry. And we're gonna go on to the 7th game. God damn. The waves can't stop. Let's go. It's gonna be purple red. Alright, and this final game in this final game of the night or the morning. It's 7:45 for me in the morning here. This is gonna be on divide freeze over top versus bottom. We got Latof top left, Luke down on top, up on top right. We got Zedd down on bottom right, and then Steve down on bottom left. So exactly the same matchups, exactly the same factions in this final game as Poltergeist, Merino West. So we saw Luke against Zedd, a bit of a weird one. I felt like Latof, not Latof, sorry. Luke kind of just fell asleep there. Didn't have that many units on the field. And Zedd was able to spam out those discs and really made him pay for it. So we'll see whether the same happens here. Zedd already getting that refinery on the gems. Luke is gonna do the same, but Zedd captured his a lot quicker. You're gonna move your miners anyway, doesn't really make a difference. Divide freeze I think is a really good map for Latof and Luke. Really wide open, they can really use the middle I think to their advantage. Especially getting the mag positions on this cliff will be absolutely huge. Who will be the injured zebra? So we've got drones on the field for everyone. I can't tell what color drones are. This is orange. And the other one died. Luke killed it. So players are going to commit to miners here, of course. A bit of a longer game. Second World Factory for Steve does go on to the on his teammates MCV. It is harassment here from who is this? This is Zedd. Person from Zedd around the back. Sentikun does take care of it. So got 6 minus. Got 5 minus. 4, 5, 6 minus. 5, 6 minus what would be 7. I think Steve is gonna try some drone rhino stuff here. Oh, but nice. That's very good from what for Latof to counter that drone. Steve just got a little bit lacking there. Meanwhile, Luke on the other hand trying to abuse the miners on the trees for all the way from top right coming to bottom left. Didn't commit too many units, so that's fine. You get all this prepared for a 4 shield. Oh, but there's an NG. There's an NG. NG no more. And now it goes into the UE Prime. That's gonna be an issue. But Steve onto Latof here is a big issue. Steve attacking Latof. Latof does not have many units left on the field. to repair. He stops for a quick repair and then goes back in. I see he's gonna be the target next after that lab. 4 shield goes down. Yuri Prime comes out of the flag. And Luke coming in the clutch to save the day. But on his end, he is getting hit now. With a bunch of other units from Zedd. 2 masterminds just pushing back. And now Steve coming in once again with some clutch hot fire rhinos on that left channel. What can he do here? What can he do here? Good Deso. I see he's ready. The Yuri Prime goes back into the flag. He's gonna go around the map. But Luke still has a big threat of Zedd in a smack battle between him and his teammate. And now Steve can meet in the middle along with him. Desos are ready to be deployed. Yuri Prime. Not sure where it is. The flag. Not sure where it is. AFK miner. Steve getting Desoed. Zedd pulling back a couple of the units. IC is not getting a target. Is Latof gonna IC his own IC? He does. But his war factory does get taken out by the rhinos as well. AFK miner is still there. Another war factory gets rebuilt. And looks like Zedd had retreated all the way back to his own base. Meanwhile, the rhinos do push back from Steve, and a couple does get droned as well. And now Zedd is here. Clutch saved the MCV. My throat's getting dry. So much shit going on here. The bottom team has been so aggressive onto this top team. The top team is just defending with whatever they can and clutching it out with the shields and the ICs. Not sure where that Yuri Prime went in that flag. Oh, I think the Yuri Prime went here. Yeah, there you go. Yuri Prime captured this building, and that's why they were able to get the sentry guns off. The Steve just got a war factory and they're finally taken down. Another Yuri Prime coming out. Couple Yuri clones as well. Zedd's still threatening to push forward onto top right. Latof and Steve still going at it. Waiting to go in. We got drones as well from Latof ready to go. Nice. I think Steve's making the drones to try and counter the Yuri Prime, which is going around the entire map. Put 2 walls for Luke. Steve still has that 1 war factory there, so that to beware. Oh, a nice drone from Latof onto the masterminds. In comes the drones. No grinder. Oh, grinder's nearby. Sorry. This is very nice from Latof, chasing Steve all the way down, pushing him away, and now that means Zedd is alone with no support. And out comes that flag. The mastermind in it. Sorry, not mastermind. You're Prime in it. He's trying to get MCV. He's trying to get MCV. He's trying to get MCV. He gets the MCV. You know, he gets the war factory. Yeah, what did he get? What did he get? He got absolutely fucking nothing. What? I'm sure I'm not colored, but he got absolutely fucking nothing there. Absolutely freaking nothing from that Yuri Prime. It does though. That allows Latof to go through. Ooh, almost comes to a base straight there, but Latof is the one to pull back. Steve still advances through. We got drones coming in for Latof. On the other hand, I see drones coming in on the right side. That's gonna annihilate Zedd's army. Meanwhile, Steve coming all the way to the top right hand side. Dominator going down onto Latof's war factory. Steve sending Latof in a wild goose chase. Is he falling out with any rhinos on the right hand side? No, he is not. 4 shield comes out. He needs some anti-air here. Luke desperately needs some anti-air. He's gonna use his disc if he can, but he does not outnumber the disc. Flag coming in for Latof to try and help. Elite flag coming out. The brutes from the mutiny takes out 1 war factory. 2nd war factory is about to go down. Steve still holding on here. 2 rhinos left. Latof on a wild goose chase. Sending it all the way back around. Another flag can finally make a move here. Got drones from Steve coming in on the top left. I have no fucking idea who won the trade. There is so much shit going on here. The drones from Steve are coming in, getting that flag, and elite this is away. It's gonna target that IC. Target that IC. IC goes down. IC goes down. Latof's IC goes down to the elite disc after the drones from Steve gets into the flag of Latof. But Latof still has a good number of rhinos left and a good eco. Luke is broke. Steve has 16k in the bank. Obviously from going drones. Latof and Zedd is broke as well, sorry. Good drone coverage there. And now they're gonna move down towards middle. Ooh, miners are getting picked. Bottom left though, Latof does approach Steve. Let's put him with his base. But the Kirov down on top right, Latof does see it. I see from Steve does push away, and look at that, Yuri Prime did work. It did get Steve's MCV, and Luke was able to put a grinder on that end. Steve now have only a handful of rhinos remaining. No MCV, no R to mine. He pulls his miners forward. Yes, 12k in the bank, he can still do this. Dominator goes down onto the war factory on bottom right. Good spot there from Luke. That means Steve only has 1 war factory remaining. So much shit going on. This is a messy game. Very messy game. Look at Latof chasing Luke all the way through. Chasing Steve, sorry, all the way through. But the anti-air is still desperately needed here for Latof. Now the Dominator going on, and now the War Factory. Latof, does he have the eco to repair? 5 days still making a whole lot of difference here for Zedd. So much going on. Now Steve has some drones and rhinos ready to go. He's repairing. Latof has an IC ready. He ICs IC drones. Latof's definitely gonna counter with his own IC there. And there you go. And then he's gonna go for the rhinos. Where's the flag? War Factory's been targeted. War Factory lives on 1 health. Steve's still going around that cliff there. Latof's gonna go around the other side, but so much damage being done. Another miner getting sniped. Zedd retreat with that with the disc, and I mean, look at Zedd's space. He's still really fresh. Lots of buildings available, but look at Latof's rhinos. 2 rhinos remaining, while they don't really have much left. Bunch of initiates. The disc finally goes down. Elite coming up, but Steve might be the only one remaining here that has any fighting power left in him. Lateral fracture from Latof does go down with the elite coming out. We're moving on to 12 minutes into this game, looking to 13. And team DeezNuts are so far ahead. Has been so aggressive time and time around. And the elite from Steve will just wipe everything clean to the bone. Zedd calls GG. Steve, what a G. What an MVP here from Steve. I would give the MVP to Steve in this game. Absolutely atrocious with the elites and the drones. And the chemistry there between him and Zedd. So good. So good. That game took 13.5 minutes. And the final point does go to Steve and Zedd, who are the winners of this final series as we end it here. What a game, boys. What a game.